And 3-0 was the score at full time as well, which is why these Arsenal fans have been celebrating. Those 3 goals have given Arsenal 3 points to take them 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. And after 22 years, is the momentum back with Arsenal as they chase down a Premier League title. It was, as Jamie said, a really big win for Arsenal. It was an important performance. They've managed to keep players fit. They've managed to rest a few players ahead of the game against Atletico Madrid on Tuesday. What do you think was the most impressive thing about it, Paul?
The way they started. I think always when you come out and it gets down to this stage of the season, you've got to start well. You've got to close down, have shots, and just suffocate the other team and get the fans up and get the fans up. And I thought Lewis Skelly was the prime example of that. He got tight. He went a couple of balls, and they couldn't get out there after Fulham, and they just started so well. And I know they started well last week and scored after 9 minutes. No disrespect to Fulham. They could go after Fulham. They couldn't go after Newcastle. Newcastle got a lot of better quality players than Fulham. And they sussed that out very quickly, and they thought, you're not going to hurt us, and we're just going to suffocate you here, and we're just going to keep on coming, and they're closing them down. Even if they lost that ball, they'd always get back. And it was just the start, and they've got to start like that again next week, and every game they play from now on.
What kind of opposition did Fulham put up, do you think, Jamie, today?
Look, I don't want to take away from what Arsenal did, but they had a virus that had swept through the changing rooms this week, and they played like that. They didn't have a lot of energy. You know, I felt it was like Iwobi and Sanderberg in midfield give them a real presence. Iwobi's obviously got a bit of a longer term one. When I saw Sanderberg not playing in there, I thought that gives Arsenal a great chance. But you still got to capitalise on it. They'd have read this week about Atletico Madrid and how poor they've been after European games. Arsenal looked the team that were fresh. They looked like the team. Fulham looked like the team that had gone to Atletico Madrid and had a European night. But I thought Arsenal just started well, picked the right team. The right players got into the game very quickly. You know, Eze was obviously exceptional. Saka gave a lovely 45-minute cameo. Hopefully there's no problems. They just felt that was enough. We'd get him off the pitch, save him, because he's obviously going to be so important for these last few games. And what we saw from Gyokeres, certainly in the first 45 minutes, was his best half of football. You know, he got 2 goals, but it wasn't just his 2 goals, it was his hold-up play, because he was up against 2 formidable opponents, Anderson and Calvin Bassey, strong, physical, but he was too much for them. And that's going to give him a lot of confidence as well, because although it's been an up and down season, lots of question marks, the numbers are still pretty good for him. You know, he scored a lot of goals in his debut season, and I can still see him scoring a few more. And I think that's 6 in his last 7 home games, which is also important for the team. You know, when you've got a striker leading the line like that, Paul.
Yeah, 100%. He was the best I've seen him play. Reminded me like of a Haaland today. You know, he went up against Anderson. I said it would be a battle, and he won 3 kicks. And the prime example for me was the Saka goal, the second goal. What he does there just shows the confidence he was playing with. And I just thought the players trusted him a lot more. They were passing it into him, and he felt more confident. So, as I said before, in his wildest dreams, Arteta couldn't have wished for anything better today.
How much was he helped by the performance of Bukayo Saka as well? Because the conversation around Gyokeres at times has been, well, maybe the goals, the big important goals aren't coming because he's not getting the service that you might want.
Yeah, he's top quality player, Saka. I know he ain't put up the figures, the numbers this season, what people say. He gets doubled up, and I said this before the show, but he's a big game player. He gets on the ball, and there when he isolates Jimenez, you know, he knows what to do, and he's on his weaker foot, and he plays a great pass. You know, I'm a big fan of his. You know, he turns up week in, week out. Probably this season, few injuries. He's robust, and he performs. And for me, get your best players on the pitch week in, week out till the end of the season, and Arsenal won't be far away.
Should we look at the first goal?
Let's look at the first goal. We're talking about the sort of build up to this one. And
I love it.
And it was a really structured goal in a way.
It was clever, and the simplicity of it, and it just when I saw the setup, you can see. Let's just talk about Fulham's from their point of view. You can see Jimenez. They're probably thinking that Declan Rice is going to lift this ball into this area where you've got Gyokeres and Gabriel, 2 biggest headers, the best headers of the ball in the team. So Jimenez is the last man. So that would probably be the setup from set pieces. You obviously got Calvin Bassey and other players in this area, and then Bukayo Saka. But the one thing that sort of threw me, so I thought, okay, this is definitely something that Arsenal have worked on, is the position of Ben White. He comes over to Declan Rice, and it's almost a bit like they produced a brilliant set piece last week, and it was so unusual in its manner, and this one had a similar sort of feel to it. as they play each other a couple of times, I like what he does, Miles Lewis-Skelly, because he's just going to drop off. And this is the detail that set pieces go through. Consider how many games they've had of late. They play it to each other. Declan Rice, he plays a short one. Like his hands goes up, and okay, now he plays it here. Now you can see Miles Lewis-Skelly gets himself into a position. They play it again. So because what that does there is it just makes the extra players, Emil Smith-Rowe now is even further away. So Declan Rice can check back and then play this ball into the midfield player, who now is going to open this up where you've still got Jimenez, who's going to play as your left back. Paul made a great point, and I totally get it. Like sometimes you might say to Anthony Robinson, who had success against Saka in the first 10, 15 minutes, switch. But they don't have time, and sometimes it's probably been thrown by the cleverness of this set piece, if you like. Now the ball gets to play to Miles Lewis-Skelly. He's on checking his shoulder, he knows. He's got one objective, get that ball to this man. Because you can already see he doesn't want any of this. He's thinking to myself, this is the last thing I want. I'm a centre forward. I don't want the cleverest, trickiest player on the pitch facing me up. He does all right to start because he thinks I'll show him onto his left foot. You can see it here. He's uncomfortable. He doesn't want it. Now he gets him onto his left foot there. Now he's thinking he's going to cross it. Now Bukayo's got him. He slips, he falls over. Then the next question is, can you get your delivery right? You can see there's the goal scorer there with Gyokeres. You mentioned it, Paul. It's a great point. He's got that Haaland. He's got a grip of him. He looks like he's the one that's leading this little battle. Bukayo then checks back again. Now, can he put that ball into this area, like this, what they call it, the corridor of uncertainty, if you like? And it's a brilliant right-footed cross because
Homo, the position of maximum opportunity.
Okay, cool. I like that one. I'll use that next time. But normally with Bukayo, that would be the one criticism I have of him, that he wants to keep cutting back on his left, and it doesn't always help Gyokeres, because now he's made that run. He's got away from his his defender, as you can see. The ball's coming into a brilliant area, and he gets off the back of it, and a really good finish. Now, you mentioned this, Paul, you know, in terms of what Gyokeres does. It is really good forward play.
Yeah, it reminded me of Haaland. You know, it was really good because he comes inside and then they start grabbing each other in a minute. When it gets to Saka, they sort like here, I don't know how to work the machine.
I got you. What do you want?
So here, he's drifted off now. So he can see everything now. And that's what you want. You don't want to be here where you're looking around and you're looking for people if you're behind people. So he's there. So he can see everything now. Then he goes in and then he just waits and waits. Now he gets hold of him. Now he gets hold, and now he pulls him and then he's away. So he sort of pulls him around. He goes round the back. It's brilliant play. It's real Haaland. Look, you watch him. He's got his shirt as well there as well. He's showing good strength.
Would you say that Anderson probably makes that mistake? If you can see, I would say that's a really good position he's got on Gyokeres there. He's got his right arm up. He's got a grip of him, but he decides to let that arm go. And like you say, then he can just roll him round the back here, Paul, can't he?
Yeah, and Anderson's a strong lad, so he thinks he's got him and then he just leaves him. It's brilliant centre-forward play. It's a great ball, but we've seen a million of them balls come across the box and no one's in there. You've got to be in there to tap them in. The centre-forward makes the cross in the end, you know, because people put them across the box all day long. If you're not in there, it's not a great ball. And he brilliant run, brilliant forward play, and I like what he does in the second goal as well.
Where do you stand with Gyokeres? Because he has took a lot of stick this year, Paul.
Yeah, I've probably been one of them, if I'm being honest. Yeah, if they win the league, I think he's been a brilliant buy. If they don't win the league, and then I think it's going to be, because does he play if Havertz is fit? And that's the thing, you know, Havertz plays in a lot of the big games when he's fit, and that would be my problem. But he was put in the team to make sure they beat the lesser teams. Do you know what I mean? And score goals. To score 20 goals, I don't care what anybody says. You come into a team and say, right, I want my centre forward to get 20 goals. He's done that. So I've got one way.
The only thing I would say, in mitigation of that stat about the 20 goals, and we'll look at that a bit later on, but before today, it only led to 2 extra points for Arsenal in the Premier League. Yeah. And so you can kind of balance one against the other.
No, definitely. One question, sorry, Paul, is that, do you think, is it a coincidence that he had his best, I'm not sure when he came off, hour or whatever, and Havertz wasn't on the bench? Because maybe he's not thinking, if I don't do well, I'm coming off. Because strikers are a unique set, like they're very selfish breed, if you like. They're not being disrespectful. They don't want almost that pressure of someone waiting in the wings. Yeah, and the thing is, with a centre-forwards get the ump when they come off with 15, 20 minutes to go, because that's when the game opens up, you know, and they've done all the hard work, and then the forward comes on. And there was a couple of times earlier in the season where I thought,
he needed to be the sub Gyokeres and come on for 20 minutes when the game's opened up. But yeah, I think that may be the case. I think there's not as much pressure. You're not looking over every time a number goes up thinking, is that my number? But he was good today. I think that's what they bought him for, was performances like that week in, week out. They haven't been there week in, week out. If they're there for the next 4 games and they win the league and get in the Champions League final, their money back.
And we talked about Bukayo Saka and his performance in that first 45 minutes. He got his first goal and assist in a game for 17 months.
Yeah, brilliant. I love this. I just want to stop it here because this is so interesting, and I love, as that ball gets played into, I'll just put it a little bit more, sorry, Kel, there. So that ball comes to Eze. He's got his head up. He wants to play forward. That's the type of player he is. You can see his manager here, Mikel Arteta, is absolutely no doubt in my mind saying, calm, we're 1-0 up. No problem. If you want to come back and play here, let's keep the ball. But when you have a player like Eberechi Eze, he wants to play forward. He wants to be a bit more, what I would say, chaotic. Like play to your strengths. I don't want to see. He's not been signed to play safe and play back to, Miles Lewis-Skelly here. And what he's telling, by his head up, his eyes are saying to this man, Victor Gyokeres, there's the space. Get him behind Calvin Bassey. One look, and he's just telling him a story.
Yeah, if you look at their eyes, Eze's looking at Gyokeres is looking at him. That's all you ask for, is eye contact. If you're a midfield player, you want the centre forward looking at you, and as soon as their eye contact, they know what they're going to do. Exactly know what they're going to do.
It's absolutely brilliant. I love it. And the other part, obviously, is you're going to see Bukayo Saka, who's going to go and join next with Anthony Robinson. So you mentioned about this at half-time, Paul.
This all comes from the way he's playing and how well he's playing.
Yep.
Like there,
oh, no,
if you just take it back
just
a little bit,
just there,
to there. Another day, he gets that and just holds it up and then rolls it back. But because he's playing with confidence, he gets on the half turn and he turns and he squares him up. That's what gives Saka the idea of coming inside, outside, and inside. And he loses Robinson just so quick.
You've actually given me a good stop there, because if you look at Anthony Robinson now, you can see it at home. He's checking his shoulder. Yeah. He's thinking, I've got him, because he's expecting Bukayo Saka to make this angle for him and just face up, so then he can go and do his bit, maybe face him 1v1. He probably looks twice, I think, Anthony Robinson, but then right at the end, he doesn't look, and that's when Bukayo Saka just darts inside him. Look, he has another look there. All of a sudden, too late, he's gone. And this is a wonderful finish, Paul.
Oh, it's brilliant finish, yeah. Everything about this goal, the pass, the movement, the holding up, the ball, the movement again, and then the finish, the way he puts top spin on it. We see it with Dembele in midweek. It hits across it. It's such a hard finish, because the easiest way out is to bend it in the far corner. If you go near post and you don't score, people go, why didn't you go to the far post? It takes a lot of doing that, and it's phenomenal. And he really opens his body up like he is going to play it out wide, and he brings it straight back in.
Table tennis, top spin, isn't it? Beautiful finish, and so important. You can see the extra quality that he possesses on that. I think if he'd have stayed on the pitch, they would have scored more goals.
They did score more goals, though, because Victor Gyokeres got the third of them, but that was while Bukayo Saka was still on the pitch. And Gyokeres is, as you said, with one of his best performances for Arsenal. Yeah,
Bukayo would have had his heart in his mouth, actually, for about 20 seconds here, because he plays a really, I would say, a dangerous pass that, luckily enough, I think it's Gabriel, wasn't it? Gabriel just nips in front here, Paul, doesn't he? And then they find the ball to Trossard.
Yeah, but I like Bassey, but look at him getting back. Like, he's walking back. If he sprints back, he gets there. He doesn't. He jogs back, and then Gyokeres pulls away. He's got to sprint back. I like Bassey. I like him. He gives his all every week, but he hasn't here. But if you watch Gyokeres, look, scanning, looking around, look, where is everybody? That looks where he is, and then he pulls away, Just a little pull and then a push in, and he stays on side. It's real good centre forward play. I'm like really intelligent forward play, because a lot of centre forwards get busy there and they think put it in, and then all of a sudden they run offside. He doesn't do that. It's brilliant bit of vision, a brilliant bit of scanning. But
what about the Trossard cross as well?
I think Trossard's a good footballer. I think he's very underrated, in my opinion. He's a real good footballer. 2-footed, but it's a great little. We used to have it like when you get there, dink it to the far post, but then the header back. Everything about it, they were the best I've seen them probably all season in that first 45 minutes.
And
Three
Paul,
classy goals. Right
yeah,
there.
you talked about the fact that Gyokeres has now hit more than 20 goals this season for Arsenal. He's only the third player in the Premier League era behind Thierry Henry and Alexis Sanchez. And some of the cases you're going back, it's like Joe Baker in the 60s, Malcolm McDonald in the 70s, to look at players who've scored more than 20 goals in all competitions in their debut season. And Ian Wright up there with 26. That is incredible company for Victor Gyokeres to be keeping.
It would be good company because it's at Arsenal.
Yeah.
So
well, okay. So the quality of the goal scorers is going to be good.
Players to play centre forward for Arsenal, and yeah, but as you said before, they've won what, 4 points or 2 points?
Well, it's 5 now. Yeah,
5 points. Which that 5 points could win it. But yeah, I'm one of them. I'm a big man on first goal, equaliser.
Yeah.
You know, some of them goals might have been equalisers.
Significant
that
goals
goes
as well.
on to,
well, listen, we'll
goals.
talk more about Victor Gyokeres, and we'll be hearing from Miles Lewis-Skelly.
Congratulations. The victory was important today, but was it the manner of the victory that made a huge statement this evening?
Yeah, I think we controlled the game very well, and then of course we did it. In this stage we have to win the games that are left, and we showed today that we got a good performance, and of course important 3 points.
This felt a very different performance in terms of flair and belief today. What was the difference? What was behind that newfound confidence?
Yeah, I think we always go into the game believing that we is gonna play in a good way and create a lot of chances, and today we did that, and we enjoyed it.
If I just take you back a couple of weeks ago, we saw those pictures of Declan Rice on the pitch at Man City, and he was saying to everybody, it's not over. How much did you all believe as a group that it wasn't over?
Yeah, we never stopped believing, and we're not going to do it. So yeah, that's how it is, and we keep going. It's a lot to play for still, and we're just going to focus on the next one now.
How good a week has this been for Arsenal and for you personally?
Yeah, it's been good. Of course, we've got some good results, and it's on a good path, but we have to stay there and keep going like this.
6 points clear tonight, plus 4 goal difference. A Champions League second leg semi-final on the horizon as well. Do you sense you're in the touching distance of something really special in the history of this football club?
Yeah, of course, there's not so many games left now, and we're in a good position, so yeah, of course we feel it.
Well, Victor, many congratulations. You are the player of the match. Well done.
Thank you.
Excellent performance from Victor Gyokeres. Excellent performance from Arsenal. A 3-0 victory for them, and we'll take a look back.